So, hello, welcome to the next episode of the Self and Development with Tactics podcast, and I'm your host Christopher Wolk, and I am an 17-year-old graphic design student from Austria, and I'm pretty happy to see you again here. And today, even though it's just quite late at night, I have a bit of better setup because now I do have the TV that's always standing here. I've turned it on, connected with the PC, so that there's also something that lights me in the face, so that I'm more clear to see, and the audio setup should be fine as well. So it should be not too loud and not too quiet. Everything should be fine, but I've forgotten something to turn the do not disturb button on. And today we're actually discussing The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And I've seen this book so often, I've read the title so often that I've decided just before this episode that I will discuss this one. I don't know, it might be taking this episode and the next one, but I think and I hope, I don't know, that it is worth talking about. So let's read the book in 3 sentences. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a book that challenges the conventions of self-help by inviting the reader to not try, say no often, and embrace negative thinking. Not giving a fuck is about being comfortable with being different and caring about something more important than adversity. So the other good thing is here that I'll put there in translator so that I have always the chance to translate everything I don't know. For example, adversity. Okay, then I know it. So everything is so fine with this. I'm so happy that I can actually connect this TV. I'm not using quite ever in any fucking time for something that's, helping me and helping you and making everything a little bit better with time. But let's see where I am. So, there's actually another one. You must give a fuck about something. And I think giving a fuck about what others are thinking is one of the crucial things in getting successful, because at my point of view, people just always talk and will always talk and so on. So just give a fuck about what they're talking. You're living your life. You know what's best for you. Most of the people might, know maybe 20% of your life or 20% of yourself. And that's it. And so they should all people talk, but you should give a fuck about what they talk. But let's see the 5 big ideas from this book. So the first one is conventional self-help advice focuses on what you're not. Further, it zeroes in on what your perceived or personal shortcomings and failures to already be and highlights them for you. Which is, I think, maybe not bad, but it's maybe also not good. And I get it why who wrote this book? Mark Manson. I understand why he pointed it out, because it's true, and if I'm reading it correctly and if I'm understanding it also correctly, the most self-help books are just about, what you do not have and what you do want to achieve and what's not good in your life, and they focus on, maybe the bad things and not really the good things. But let's see, the second one is the key to a good life is not giving a fuck about more, it's giving a fuck about less. Giving a fuck about only what is true and immediate important. So you should only give a fuck about what's very, very, very important to you. And this will, come up to your preferences. If you prefer, or if one of your preferences is getting good marks in school, then, you should actually give a fuck about your marks in school. If you do not care about your marks in school, then do not give a fuck about your marks in school, even though your parents are telling you or your friends or some other people. Just, do what's best for you. And I just really want to embrace this for people because, often I see, and the best thing to explain it is with books. A lot of just really successful people read a lot of books, maybe daily, one book, or one book a week, or one book a month, and you will probably see all these ads in front of or before some kind of videos where they talk about, how you can read faster and so on. But the thing is, if you can't read for shit, if you really can't read and it's, you can't do it, it's not in your DNA, it's not who you are, then don't do it. Just search for other ways to learn stuff. I understand why people read a lot of books, and I tend to read books as well. At the moment, not as much as I did 1 week ago, because I could have the time, but I'm not, or I seem not to prefer it to do it, because, there's just a lot of informations by really successful people as well, which are compressed into small space, which is, really easy to digest and really easy to find, and you do not have, a hell lot of work to do before you can actually learn this thing. Not like, with the internet where you just really have to search for the things you want to learn, and there you just get it, on your plate to some sort of eat. But as I said, if you can't read, if you do not want to read, if you just can't, if it's not you, then do not do it. When you feel angry about feeling angry or anxious about feeling anxious, you're stuck in what Manson calls the feedback loop from hell. Yeah, which is true. However, by not giving a fuck that you feel bad, you short circuit the feedback loop from hell. You say to yourself, I feel like shit, but who gives a fuck? So I read it again because I think it's important. However, by not giving a fuck that you feel bad, you short circuit the feedback loop from hell. Which means, let me short circuit. Oh, wow. The thing with just Googling everything I do not know is that I just build my vocabulary even more, and so that I can provide better content by using better words, not using all the time the same fucking shit words like I do now, some sort of. Because there is an infinite amount of things we can now see or know, there is also an infinite number of ways we can discover that we don't measure up, that we are not good enough, that things aren't as great as they could be, and this rips us apart inside. At my point of view, and this is really something the school system doesn't get or does really get wrong, is you shouldn't be able to do anything. You shouldn't be good at anything because, some people are just pretty coordinated. So they just, do a lot of sports and they like doing sports. Some are just good at maths and therefore, will do a job where they think a lot, or I don't know. Some people, can deal pretty good with people, and so they will do something social, and so on and so on. And so at my point of view, and this is really something I've been emphasizing with pretty lately, is that you should really not work on things you're not good at. You should really work on something you're good at and get the best at it, because that's I don't want to say the only way to be something special, but it's a good way, because you have talent in something, then you might actually like it because you're good at it, and so on and so on, which is just, it's a loop, but it's not the loop of hell, it's maybe the loop of heaven. This was such a bad one. But let's see what this actually means. What not giving a fuck means. Subtlety. Number 1, not giving a fuck doesn't mean being indifferent. It means being comfortable with being different. A sneaky truth about life. There is no such thing as not giving a fuck. You must give a fuck about something. You can't be an important and life-changing presence for some people without also being a joke and an embarrassment to others. Which just, subtlety number 2. Do not give a fuck about adversity. You must first give a fuck about something more important than adversity. Okay? If you find yourself consistently giving too many fucks about trivial shit that bothers you, chances are you don't have much going on in your life to give a legitimate fuck about. So if you find yourself consistently giving giving too many fucks about trivial shit, which I think it just means that you shouldn't just give a fuck about everything. There's just something you do have to do because, even though you do not have, do not really want to do something sometimes, and it's also something I would really suggest you, and I was talking about the last episode, actually, is that you should really be doing something you do not practically like, because you get the discipline of doing things you actually don't want, but doing it nevertheless or anyways, whatever. I think you know where I'm heading. Subtlety number 3 is, whether you realize it or not, you are always choosing what to give a fuck about. Okay, maturity is what happens when one learns to only give a fuck about what's truly fuck worthy. So I have to read subtlety number 3 again. Whether you realize it or not, you are always choosing what to give a fuck about. Okay, that's right. I will never choose, I think you will always choose what's important to you and not what's not important to you, which is, kind of true, but I do not know where this is heading or what he actually means. But maturity is what happens when one learns to only give a fuck about what's truly fuck worthy. 90% of the things, according to, it's just, some kind of number, I don't know. According to Gary Vee, it's just, unimportant. 90% of things are not fuckable. You just give a fuck about 90% of things. Just get it wrong, this fucking sentence. I don't know. And the idea of not giving a fuck is a simple way of reorienting your expectations for life and choosing what is important and what is not. So the idea of not giving a fuck is a simple way. Okay. I think you should always be thinking like, what is really important to me? Is this what I'm doing right now the way I should go? If this is really heading to the goal I really tend to go, I really want to go, I really want to pursue. And if you're interested in this topic, the last episode, as I remember correctly, is a really great one. I'm not saying it because it's my stuff. It was a pretty great one. I was talking a lot of good things there, and talking went well, and the episode went well, and everything went well, and so everything was quite fine. So, but let's head to the actual summary of the book, and we are already 40 minutes in, and I hope you got something out of what I was talking just before. The desire for more positive experience is itself a negative experience, and paradoxically, the acceptance of one's negative experience is itself a positive experience. I'll have to read this again because it's just, especially in English, not my mother tongue, something, pretty hard to understand, even though I maybe should. The desire for more positive experience is itself a negative experience. So wanting more positive things in your life is actually a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of one. There's one good and one bad thing, actually. I have just before recorded it, and then my laptop just turned itself off because the power source was disconnected, and if there's anything right, everything should be right, yeah. And I just was like, oh no, fuck, this episode is pretty much destroyed because I was thinking about this video file was just broken because, if your PC turns off, you do not think like, everything is fine. But actually everything is fine, and yeah, so I'm happy. But let's see, we will straight go on. The more you pursue feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become as pursuing something, only reinforcing the fact that you lack it in the first place. Philosopher Alan Watts used to refer to as the backwards law. Further reading is the hedonic treadmill. So I will read this again because this is important. The more you pursue feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become as pursuing something, only reinforcing the fact that you lack in it the first place, which is, I don't really get it. And so, if you really wanna, really wanna tell me what this is all about, some sort of, all the social media links are down in the description, or whether you are on the podcast or you are on the YouTube video, everything should be there, and you just can post or comment on every post you can find, or DM me on these platforms. But we will go straight ahead. Everything worthwhile in life is won through surmounting the associated negative experience. That's kind of true. Everything worthwhile in life is won through surmounting. And I think surmounting may be... No. Yeah. That's kind of true. If you really want to build a business, you quite have to go through shitty periods. For me, example, I do not have any audience yet. Nobody is basically watching or listening me. Or I don't know. I do not have a lot of Instagram followers. There is a lot of negativity going on. There's a lot not going well right now. But the thing is, I will do it anyways. Because I think, and I kind of believe in it, that this all will be quite fine in, maybe a year, maybe less, maybe more. And some people have worked their life long for achieving what they wanted, especially in terms of businesses. Warren Buffett especially, he was working until he was 60, and with 60 he had his first million. I think it was just some kind of that. And then I have to show you the graph. Warren Buffett money graph. Yeah. By age. Warren Buffett's net worth by age. So there you can see the first million. Okay, it was actually not that. Let's see. In his 60s. I don't believe in this one because, being worth 5k. Is it 5k net worth? Net worth inflation adjusted. Okay, so this is his actual net worth. His actual net worth with 14 was 5k. Mine is just not that big, actually. And then you can see he had his first million. I don't believe in this. Why? Everybody was telling me that if this is the right one. Okay, this is a better one. You can see he got his first million with 30. This is quite young, but you then have to see it took him then 7 years to 10x his net worth. And then it took him 100 million is around here, which may be 50. With 50, he had the 100 million mark achieved. And then with 38, which should be his current or some kind of his current age right now, he is worth 58 billion. And you just see how this is exponentially growing up. And I think it's actually exponentially growing now as well. But we will go ahead in this summary of the book. Yeah. Okay, let's see. To not give a fuck is to stare down life's most terrifying and difficult challenges and still take action. A lot of things in life aren't that easy, but as we were discussing just before then, a lot of these things just have to be done to achieve what you really want. You have to work to get your business to a 1 million company. You have to work to, I don't know, to be an athlete and professional athlete in, I don't know, the NFL or just in terms of football, I don't know, or soccer. Sorry, I just meant soccer by saying football. It's just a little bit. When you give too many fucks, when you give a fuck about everyone and everything, you will feel that you're perpetually entitled to be comfortable and happy at all times, that everything is supposed to be just exactly the fucking way you want it to be. So just giving a fuck about everything and everyone might not really work, because you, for business, for example, you need clients, and if you just give a fuck about your clients, your business won't be the best one. If you give a fuck about just anything about eating, you will die. So just to talk a little bit about giving a fuck about everything, I think you shouldn't actually. But that's my point of view. Pain and loss are inevitable, and we should let go of trying to resist them. The greatest truths in life are usually the most unpleasant to hear. We suffer for the simple reason that suffering is biologically useful. It is nature's preferred agent for inspiring change. That seems just true. Actually, this is something I was learning through all these books or book summaries I've been reading with you, or within this channel, or this format, or whatever you want to call it. A lot of things nature tells us, or nature has built into us, is just good for us. Nature just wants to protect us. And this is something so interesting and so worthwhile reading, especially the episodes with, or where I was talking about body language. So I think it was, I don't remember the book's name, but also on the Samuel Thomas Davis website, where I am just right now, as you can see, this is the logo there. There's also actually the summary of this book. Just maybe type in summary, body language or something, and then you will find it, and it's just, then you see that a lot of things nature built into us is just to protect us and to make our life better and so on, which is, just wow. Don't hope for a life without problems. There is no such thing. Instead, hope for a life full of good problems. And I would say a life without problems is pretty boring. If there's nothing to work for, if there's nothing or to matter about, and so on, and it would be just some kind of boring. I don't really wish it just really tough problems. That's not what I mean. But as he is saying, good problems, I think he just means what I'm telling you right now. Problems never stop, they merely get exchanged and or upgraded. Up or downgraded, I would say. Happiness comes from problems you enjoy having and solving. Nobody who is actually happy has to stand in front of a mirror and tell himself that he is happy. Emotions are simply biological signals, designed to nudge you in the direction of beneficial change. Negative emotions are a call to action. When you feel them, it's because you're supposed to do something. Tony Robbins discussed this in detail in Awaken the Giant Within, which I always thought is just a pretty new book, but it's actually from 1989, 1998, I think. It's just, 19, some kind of 19, whatever, but that doesn't mean that it's not a book worthwhile reading. I found out, I experienced that a lot of just really, really old books are the best ones. Because, I don't know, most of the time these authors let them took just, it's the best to describe in terms of how to win and influence people. The author, Dale Carnegie, was writing the book for about, I think it was actually 25 years. So it was just some kind of his life project. And this is just amazing, and I don't think like somebody know, but I can't really decide or tell you that nobody is just doing the same right now, because then the book will be published in 25 years from now ahead. So, but I do not think a lot of authors will do this now. It's just, we're just in a pretty fast environment, and everything is just pretty fast and pretty. No, but everything is so fast, and I think they do not really have the time to do this. But correct me in the comments and all the time if I just say some bullshit. Just because something feels good doesn't mean it is good. Eating unhealthy shit, it tastes good and it feels good at the beginning, and then you feel really bad. Which is just, this time span, what he is talking about, really shortened. Just you get, really lucky and everything is good, and then everything falls down and you just feel like shit. Yeah. Everything comes with an inherent sacrifice. Whatever makes us feel good will also inevitably make us feel bad. Explain with what I'm doing right now works pretty good, because I'm just using a lot of time for this to do. I do not know now if this will work out at all, but I will do it, and maybe afterwards, in 10 years, I feel a little bit bad about just wasting such a lot of time, but I'm doing it anyways. And I would suggest you to do something as this as well. Do something you love, besides your job or besides school. I don't know what you're doing. Something you love, something you care about, something you actually like to do for the rest of your life, and try stuff out. I would actually try a lot of stuffs out or things out to see what works best for you. And at my point of view, just getting a really safe job just after school, after graduating from college or whatever you're doing, isn't pretty much working. Because, after school, you're so young that you have the time to just try some things out. And a lot of things I tell you are just from Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V, because I really emphasize with it, and I would then feel bad for not telling you what I actually think. And this wouldn't be the really point. So, but if you just really want to get motivated and a lot of more stuff, go ahead to Gary V's. It's GaryVee. On YouTube or on Twitter, he's just everywhere. But let's see. A more interesting question, a question that most people never consider, is what pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for? Because that seems to be a greater determination of how your life or lives turn out. What determines your success isn't what do you want to enjoy. The relevant question is, what pain do you want to sustain? The path to happiness is a path full of shit heaps and shame. And for this, I think I have to say goodbye to you. I wish you a wonderful day, and if there's anything, just write me something in the comments, or comment on my posts, whatever. And please do me the favor and work on something you love, you care about, and smile. Smiling is also the best way to let somebody else smile and feel happy. You feel happy, you feel happy and the other person is feeling happy. So everything is fine. But I really have to thank you for listening to the podcast and or watching the video, and I'll see you the next time.